My name's Rob, and I'm about 44. I live in Brighton. This is my flat. I really love living here, and got a cat somewhere. Don't know where she is. And yeah, I'm developing a carbon footprint calculator for your home. I started by initially just sort of measuring my electricity meter, and I was doing it about once a week. But then I sort of thought, well, I wonder what each different device is using, because I didn't know. All I knew was how much was in a week. And so I found a way of measuring each device. And I was quite surprised, because some things use a lot of electricity and other things they don't use much electricity at all, and you don't really know until you kind of measure these things out. Something I didn't think would use much at all, like an alarm clock, because it was on all the time, 24 hours a day, it might only be using 3 or 4 watts. But it would add up all over a year, and it might end up being about £5 in electricity, which isn't much, but if you have all these little different things, then that can add up. Whereas, say, something that uses quite a lot, like a kettle, you can do things to save energy in your kettle, but you're only using it for about a minute at a time, so it isn't too bad. I bought this device, and what's really good about it, it's really cheap. You can get it on the high street quite easily, and you plug it into any socket, and you plug your electronic item or your domestic appliance into it, and it tells you how much your kilowatt hours are, or how much watts it's using at the time. And it's good because it can tell you each individual device. When you have a fridge freezer, the main thing is to have the freezer completely full, even if it's just newspaper or something like that, because without that the air comes in and out when you open the door, and that actually is less efficient. Each person's washing machine is different, but my washing machine, if you wash at 40 degrees it's 500 watts. And if you wash at 30 degrees it's 140 watts. Try to set the bottom of your saucepan and see what the actual diameter of it is, because if you're putting a saucepan on a bigger ring than the saucepan is, it's a bit of a waste of energy. I worked out that making beans on toast is 95 watts, cooking the beans on the hob is 60 watts, and making toast is 35 watts. When I make fish and chips, it's oven chips, and they're all in the oven together, and that's 240 watts. You can do a baked potato and cheese, and that's 600 watts in the oven. We can have different pasta dishes, and if like pasta on its own with a bit of pesto would be 100 watts, but if you made a tomato sauce as well, frying the onions and the mushrooms, then it would add up to 350 watts. A couple of years ago I worked out that watching Match of the Day over the whole season was 3 kilowatts. If I wanted to cut back on a bit of energy on football, then I'd have to make a choice between different competitions, and I'd have to give up the Europa League because that's just costing too much energy. But Champions League, yeah, well, I'll keep watching that. I use 1 litre a week cleaning my teeth. So keep your taps turned off. To get an accurate carbon footprint, it's good to know all the things how they work in your home and the energy they use, and I've enjoyed collecting all this data over the last 5 or 6 years, but I wouldn't expect other people to really want to do this. So I'm creating open source software which should make it easier for people to discover their energy use and carbon footprint. There's so many simple things that you can do to save energy, and that saves money. And for instance, one of the things you can do is just turn off your lights.